Welcome to the Explorer Dashboard series of videos. In this video, I will demonstrate how to work with system values. By loading system values from any server, you can quickly analyze and validate the server's configuration settings. We start by selecting the server. Let's start with disk space. And we load the system values. In the System Values table, we see the system drives and information about the used, free, and total disk space. Next, we take a look at environment variables. Let's resize the tables. Each row contains a system environment variable. We have the environment variable name column and the environment variable value column. This table provides a complete list of system environment variables configured on the server. Next, we will look at event logs. The ellipsis or three dots following the name indicates that we will need to provide parameters. Let's open the event logs criteria form. Select the server. We specify the log file. Next, we specify the time period. We can specify any time or select from several periods like in the last hour through the last 31 days. Specify range allows us to define specific start and end dates. If you only select the start date, then all entries after that date are selected. And if you only select the end date, then all entries up until that date are selected. The event level allows you to specify only the levels you are interested in. Note that the event levels are different for the security log file. You can further narrow down your criteria by specifying description must contain, source, event ID, and task category fields. All criteria is applied with AND, so only records that match all the specified criteria are selected. And we load the event logs. The table is now filled with records that match the criteria. Next, we look at files and folders. The ellipses or dots indicate that we will need to specify some parameters. We click to open the File Folder Criteria form. We select the server. The drive dropdown can be used to specify a remote server drive letter. In this case, we are specifying a share, so we leave it as Other Drive or Share. Clicking Load Drives from System will load a list of drives from the specified server. It will place the drives at the top of the drop-down list. We select the Specify Share Folder Manually checkbox since we are typing in a share. And we type in the name of the share. The full path field will have the full path name compiled from all fields. For remote servers, make sure that the Establish Network Connection checkbox is checked. You can use Browse Folders to select a folder. Please note that the username and password used when configuring the host system must have file system access to the remote location. We click to load the information. The System Values table now contains information about the files located in the specified location. Next, we will load information about installed applications. Each line represents an application installed on the target server. The table contains information about the application name, the version, the vendor, the installation date, and the description. Next, we will load the memory performance information. Each row represents a value. The value's key or name will appear in the key column, and its value will appear in the value column. Some of the values that are retrieved are available memory, cache faults per second, page faults per second, pages per second, pull paged bytes, and transition faults per second. Next, we'll load the operating system values. The value's key or name will appear in the key column, and its value will appear in the value column. Some of the values that are retrieved are boot up time, system name, data execution prevention information, free memory, operating system name, whether the OS is 64 bits, and the operating system's version number. Next, we will take a look at the system process information. Each row represents a process running on the server. Some of the process values retrieved are process name, process ID, thread count, handle count, page file usage, various paged pull statistics, write counts, and the executable's path. Next, we're going to take a look at processor information. Each row represents a different processor property. The key column contains the property name or key, and the value column contains the property's value. Some of the values retrieved are processor address width, processor maximum clock speed, processor name, number of cores, number of logical processors, and processor ID. Next, we will look at processor performance. The first row named _total lists the overall processor performance. Each subsequent row lists properties per processor. Some of the values retrieved are deferred procedure calls or DPC rate, DPCs queued per second, interrupts per second, and percent idle time. Additional information about the properties can be found in the user's guide and in the Windows Management Instrumentation's Win32 Performance Raw Data OS Processor class. Next, we will load registry information. The ellipsis or three dots indicate that we will need to specify parameters. Let's open the registry criteria form. We verified the server or system. We set the base registry tree. And we type in the registry path. The 64-bit value checkbox only needs to be checked if running a 32-bit version of the application on a 64-bit operating system, and you wish to override the registry redirection to the Windows on Windows 6432 node. Click on the Browse button to view recent or saved records. The bottom table contains recent records. The upper table contains saved favorites. You can delete a recent record by clicking on the Delete button. You can add a recent record to Save Favorites by clicking on the Add to Favorites button. In the Saved Favorites table, you can use the buttons to save the table to disk, manually add a record to the table, edit a record, and delete a record from the table. You can select a record and exit from either the Saved Favorites table or from the Recent table. Let's add a recent record to the Saved Favorites table to make sure it is available in the future. And we save the table. Let's select the record. And we proceed to load the registry information. Each table row contains a registry value from the path we specified. The table contains the key name, the key value, the key type, the registry tree, the registry path, and whether the 64-bit flag was used. Lastly, we will take a look at services. Each row represents a service installed on the target server. The table contains the service name, the state the service is in, the service's start mode, the process ID, and the description of the service. I'll just quickly scroll through the information. When loading information from multiple servers, the datasets or tables are retained in memory for quicker access. For example, let's load environment variable information from server 201. Next, we will load environment variable information from server 202. Simply changing the server in the system dropdown will refresh the table with the information pertaining to the specified server. To delete one particular table from memory, right-click the System Values table and select Clear System Values. In this case, it will remove the environment variable information for server 202 from memory. If we change the system to server 201, the information in memory is loaded. Let's reload the information from server 202. You can see that the environment variable tables for both servers 201 and 202 are in memory. To clear all the information in memory, that is every system value type for all servers, right-click the System Value table and select Clear All System Values. You can see that the environment variable tables for both servers 201 and 202 have been removed from memory. You can simply reload the information from both servers. To compare the information between the servers, simply click the Compare System Values button. In the comparison form, you would specify the two servers you wish to compare, and the information is presented in the comparison table. We will not go into detail because comparing system values is presented in a separate video. The system values that require additional parameters or criteria are event logs, file and folder, and registry. You can load multiple tables of these value types from the same server. For example, let's load file information from a first share on server 201. Now let's load file information from a second share on the same server 201. The form displays the most current table from the selected server. To display the criteria used to get the information, in this case the path, you can hover over or click the criteria button and the information will be displayed. If you want to check the tables that are in memory or change the current table being displayed, you can click the Select Record button. The Select System Values by Criteria form will display the records that are loaded in memory. In this example, we have the Server Share table that contains 2 records, and the Server Share 2 table that contains 5 records. The row with the arrows in the current record column is the record that is currently being displayed. To change the table being displayed, simply highlight a row and click Select Record. In this example, the table with 2 files will be displayed. And you can repeat to toggle back to the table with 5 records. This concludes our video. Please make sure to watch the other Explorer Dashboard videos for more information. Thank you for watching.